I decided that instead of just being late, that I would just live stream this.
Not driving me right now.
Yeah.
The office there. I don't want to be on TV.
Let me help you frost cook. Oh, are you already done? How many are left? Yeah.
That's what happened. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll move it.
Hi.
No one's watching yet.
Give me your hand. Hold it right, come on.
Hi, Cheryl. Jeez. I don't know why that looked painful, even though it's a doll.
I take kids.
Great, now he's got a knife hand.
He's Captain Hook.
Whoa! Creepy little naked doll. Daisy?
Yeah, that was Daisy. We don't have any other dogs.
Oops.
I didn't think of these. I put sprinkles in the batter for the second batch.
Interesting.
You know,
Can I just eat one without frosting?
Yeah, I guess. You could put a little on there.
Well, I don't like chocolate frosting.
Well,
Sometimes I feel like you forget that.
There's vanilla.
Oh, it's moist at the bottom.
yeah, it's moist. You do a little bit.
It's hot and moist, and that's horrible.
You have pink. I have
Inappropriate is what it is. Hi,
green.
Dave.
Taste this, please. Daisy, more for you. Easter cupcakes.
Bastard bitch.
Ooh,
Why'd you say it the
wow.
same way?
Look how. Oh, it's so warm. Cupcakey.
Here's a flat cupcake for some
Shut
reason.
up. It flattened.
You've got the deep sweet. It's true.
Better go join the others. I have a feeling
It's too warm.
Whoa! Oh my god! That's great!
I know, right?
So stupid.
I apologize. Well, because it was kind of set up, it was implied.
Oh
We're watching Child's Play 2 and we're at the end. I realized because of how late we started it, that I wasn't going to be done before the live stream, and I thought, I'll just do the live stream late. And then I thought, no, I'll do it on time, but I'll just have this in the background.
You guys want to
Because who cares?
It's still a little warm.
It's Easter. It's not like it matters.
Right? Daisy wants it. I like them. I don't mind them without frosting.
It needs to be cooled down though. It's too warm.
Just come out. Ah! Oh! This is disgusting. What's happening? Oh!
So what do you guys think? Is he actually dead?
No.
What's he gonna do? Just run in circles? He's just feet.
Oh, shit. You did it.
Yum cupcakes. I'm fixing to make homemade brownies. Oh, we just
Yeah.
recently did that.
Not keeping sweet. Loathing the garbage.
Oh, look what an easy fix that was. They're totally different.
Where's my drink? I went into a makeover machine.
Show the camera how
Nope.
different it
I
was.
won't.
Let's see, you okay?
God damn it. Then I will.
Thanks for the ass.
Good luck.
We're about to be on camera.
You owe me one for it.
Never had.
She's coming at me. Son of a bitch. This is so weird looking. Yeah, definitely Terminator. Dave, don't be rude. Dave just said, oh, Zach is there.
Don't be rude, Dave.
I'm gonna call my next live, Dave is a homosexual.
Hey, let's kiss on camera for Dave. Yeah.
Close.
He loves me, asshole.
I was going to do something. I can't remember what it
I had two very yummy cupcakes.
Dave said, no, Tristan, we don't say words like that. And no kissing. Really? That's why it's like the Terminator. He literally will not die. I mean, maybe he could have, but then we wouldn't have had that. So now he's exploded into a million pieces. Yeah, because there's a Child's Play 3. Oh, hi, Daisy. Here, let me show you guys my dog. Daisy, say hi.
Liz finger.
I have no idea.
Safest container.
Yeah.
Christmas cookie giveaways.
My John,
Wow.
it is me,
It is.
Self John.
Oh God.
She's gonna bite me.
Traitors 2 or another season survivor.
Dave said, "Aw." I'm gonna grab the disc actually. Let me just wash my hands.
Oh, I need a towel.
You know, some certain sorts of types of people happen to be certain sorts of types of ways to me and known to be in the means to ways. Professionally,
Yeah,
means me
the
know
rest
me.
of your live stream in your room.
Leave him.
Would you like these?
Leave him.
Well, then I can watch TV together.
You have an agenda, sure.
Sorry. Sorry. Graham, you would like to watch the premiere of the second UK Traitors?
Oh, sure. Tracy said it's good, huh?
Yeah, it's a really good. I'm partway through, but I can rewatch stuff.
Okay.
It's one of the ladies is scary.
It's scary? Oh.
Like she genuinely frightens me.
Oh no.
Me neither.
Jeez.
Neither, not either.
That's your soul.
Who is it? Interesting. That's interesting.
What is?
I don't know. My mom got a psychic soulmate sketch. Where the fuck did that come from? That's what she just said. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I would like to know what that means.
It just came on your phone?
It was an ad on Facebook, and I was like, what? And so some people had the drawing, and it was like, oh my god, that's what my husband looks like. Which is like, oh, okay, well, the psychic could go online and see who the husband is, right?
Oh.
And sometimes it's like strangers.
I wonder if I could get somebody to draw Zach then. That'd be kind of cool. We need some alone time, Tristan. Jesus Christ, Dave. If you wanted alone time with me, you should really download another social media platform besides YouTube so that you could actually talk to me. I could get to know you a little bit better. But you are so adamant about not having any social media, even though YouTube kind of is social media, that I guess I'll never really get to know you that well. And you'll just have to continue being sad and jealous of Zach all the time. And that's on you. None of you tuned into my live stream that I did on Thursday. I know it was spontaneous, but nobody's even watched the replay. It has like 13 views. No one the whole time. I went live for an hour. Nobody tuned in. What happened? Is YouTube trying to fuck me over? Oh, I left a thing downstairs. I'll be right back. It has a T on it, if that helps. Now, guys, I can't remember. Oh, I did bring it up here. What a fucking asshole. Down there looking for this is right here. I didn't know you did a live stream. Yeah, I did. Check my videos. It's there. You guys don't get, like, notifications or anything? There's just so much shit on my floor. This doesn't represent me. I have a clean room normally. Yeah, Zach actually brought me an Easter basket, which was very nice of him and very unexpected.
Tickle the shaft, daughter Callie's shaft, 'cause hers is deeper than mine.
E. Shit. Let me see if I can pull in any of my friends to watch this. Well, hello. Where's the goddamn thing? There we go. Okay, I told everybody I'm live on YouTube. Moist. I just heard somebody say that word downstairs. Yeah. This is what Zach brought me. And he came over wearing bunny ears. He's just so cute. He's just such a little squish. I did bring it upstairs. I just wanted to let you guys know that I found it. Rude. Leaving his wallet on the corner of my chair like a fucking piece of ass. Alrighty then. Dave said, What are we umming, Dave? What was that in response to? There's a lot of things you could be talking about. I went on a whole rant in my last live stream. It's called Does Politics Matter? And I basically tried to make a case for it. I also talk a little bit about that in my video that I have coming up on Tuesday. And, you know, I try to be open-minded when it comes to controversial topics, but at the same time, there are certain things that I get very, very passionate about because it's like, it's a heart issue, you know? Like, you feel Like, how could you not care about this? Controversial like what? Well, anything political, really. The video that I did for Tuesday was actually inspired by an argument that I had with some online influencer model who I was following on Snapchat. And he started just making an ass out of himself, and I made an argument toward him. Oh, my mom tuned in. You were in this live stream and now you're watching it. How weird is that? Like how we love Trump. Dave, I will never understand why you keep saying that. Do you actually want to have a discussion with me about it? Have you actually listened to any of the things that I've said in my past videos? Have you actually listened to any of the things Donald Trump has said? Because if you have, what about anything about that man appeals to you? Our economy thrived under him. I guarantee you that is purely coincidental. He will try to take credit for it, but you have to realize that he switched from Trump to Biden during the pandemic, where there were a lot of unrelated things going on that no one could have done anything about. He handled the pandemic terribly. I mean, he said that it wasn't even anything to worry about, and was being very dismissive, and basically told everyone, don't worry, just go out and get infected, you'll be fine. He had a horrible way of handling the pandemic, and I think if Donald Trump hadn't been in office since 2016, I think the country would be in a lot better shape. I think he is actually to blame for the state that we're in right now. But people will try to say it's the other way around, and I'm not saying that Biden is really doing anything to really make things better. I have my own issues with Biden too, but no matter what you try to say to get me to dislike Biden, there's nothing you could say to get me to like Trump. I don't like either of them, if I'm being honest. Ben Shapiro, oh my god, he's even worse. Zero inflation with him. Once again, Dave, coincidental. Okay? You know, I don't know who else in office would have done a better job regarding handling COVID, but what I know for sure is that it'd be pretty hard to do a worse job than what Trump did. I mean, oh my god, some of the things that he said during 2020 were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was like, he was talking about, like, can we inject soap into people's bodies, or, you know, some other way. Like, he was saying some crazy fucking shit, because he was, like, scrambling. He was desperate for a solution, because he didn't know what he was doing. He was so thrown off by it. Like, he was in such a terrible state of mind, and yet he was who we had to kind of depend on. And somehow, that did not give very many people pause. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason that he lost that election, is because of how he was handling COVID. People were like, we've seen how you've taken care of this. That's enough. Let's try somebody else. Well, I can be silly, but I'm not really trying to be silly right now. This is me being real. And I don't talk about politicians as much as I talk about policies and systems that we have in place and, injustices. I don't like to talk about the specific people involved in it because I don't really feel for the most part like that does anything. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it serves a purpose. It's just it's not as often as the deeper root of the issue. It's almost like you're talking about a symptom of the virus rather than the virus itself. But nevertheless, I still don't think Donald Trump is a good person, nor do I think that he will do anything to make this country better. But at this point, I feel like we're like the damage is kind of already done. I don't think it matters who wins the 2024 election. I think we're kind of fucked at this point. And the only way that we're going to unfuck ourselves is for the people to stand up and make the change. We can't rely on politicians to do anything anymore. They've proven time and time again that they're not going to do shit. That's why we still have all the same issues we've always had, and they just progressively get worse every fucking year. We have to actually make change ourselves. That's what it's come to. There's no reversing the damage. Sorry, I was just reading something my friend sent me and then I responded to it. Okay. Where are we? We need more stimulus checks. Yes, it's up to us to change our world. I hate the way the light reflects on my face when I do this. Things become so much more real when they directly affect you. Oh, by the way, Ivy Rivera, one of my favorite shows that she does, Late Night Circus, her last episode, episode 3, she said that it might be her final episode because of how badly it's been affecting her platforms. Because, when you talk about certain topics on social media platforms, if they don't like it, they will fuck you over. Like what has been happening to me. Like my last live stream, for example, did so poorly. My last video on my channel, Why We Work, 0 likes, 1 comment from Cheryl. Nobody else said anything on it. It barely has any views. And this is coming after 2 weeks ago, I got 1,000 views. I think that's the issue. Like, there are certain things they don't want you to talk about. And Ivy talks about that kind of shit in Late Night Circus. And it's been affecting her platforms. And she's thinking, I don't want to lose all the work that I've built. I've spent all this time, building a following and, getting my business to grow. And then just, kind of throwing it all out the window with this. But it turns out she's decided to do episode 4, I think on Tuesday. So I'm very excited for that. It's such a good show. Every episode I learned so much. and I would recommend it to you guys. I have recommended it. I don't know if any of you have actually watched the other 3 episodes she's done, but they're very, very interesting. Sometimes I wonder, do I love you too much? Then I tell myself, Caroline, shut up. 'Cause there's only one way to find out if it ever gets better than right now. True, they don't want us to talk about stuff that is real. Oh, I wanted to ask if you think a certain streamer is cute. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Who is the streamer? Is it you? You should do a live stream, Dave. Then I could actually watch it and I could, the roles could reverse. I could talk to you through the comments. That's actually a really good idea. Do a live stream. Dodgy, okay. Let me look for him. Is his newest video called Dodgy's Easter Masked and Mangled? Dodgy's Easter Yoke and Poke. Am I on the right channel? He's an old man from the UK.
Hello, Dodgy Git. It's Dodgy Git Show 180. Yeah? Yeah, fucking 180.
Must be him.
Part 2 today. Just finished fucking.
He's a DILF. I don't know. I mean, he's not unattractive, but he's a little too old for my taste, I think. He can be sassy too. Shit, it auto-corrected that to be capitalized. I didn't want to do that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And the buddy bees a sneezing, the sneeze a blazing. Being mean to me and only me, I wanna tickle the shaft and touch the bees and sneezing. I believe in Jesus with a dildo up his ass. I saw a funny meme about Easter. I shall read it to you. What the fuck? Where's my story? Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I think it's in the history if I scroll up. Or maybe not. shit. There it is. It's somebody on Twitter said, Jesus died for me? That's manipulative. And then somebody replied, stay dead either, so add gaslighting to the mix. It's just so funny to hear people talking about Jesus like that. Jesus is so manipulative. First he dies for you, and then he gaslights you and comes back to life. Like, oh my god, what is wrong with him? Tell Zach to come give us a bunny dance in his bunny ears for Easter. Oh my god, he probably would. I don't know if he has them downstairs or if they're somewhere in here. Oh, there they are. This is what he wore. I am very picky about my hair, so I'm not going to put them on, but I'll hover them. There. Okay. Didn't fuck my hair up. Sometimes I wonder, do I love you too much? Then I tell myself, Caroline, shut up. Next week is the series finale of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I am so excited and so sad that it's over, but very excited to see how it ends. It's an hour long. Tonight's episode is a normal length, but next week is twice the length of a normal episode. And tonight should be fun. As always, it's at 10 p.m., so in an hour and 19 minutes, I will be watching that, and I can watch it from my room. I found another funny Jesus post. It's Jesus sitting on a bench talking to some modern day person going, "The fuck you worshiping crosses for? What part of my story makes you think I like crosses?" That is so true. It's like, here, he fucking died. So let's use these as a way to worship him. If I was murdered in some horrific way, I wouldn't want you glorifying the murder weapon. My god, that's horrible. I never thought of it like that. I mean, maybe the thought had passed through my mind at some point. I'm sure I've seen that joke before, but I don't think about it like that. Not very often. What in the world am I looking at? Oh my god, that is not what I thought I was looking at. Holy shit. The fuck? People say the craziest things. All right. So where's Dave? Did I lose you? Dave, actually, with my other device, if you were to go live right now, I could tune in. I could tune in and I could watch. and I could watch while still maintaining my live stream, so that you could see, I don't know, my live reaction seeing you for the first time. I don't think you're gonna do it. I dare you to do it. I don't think you will. I don't stream. See? I told you you wouldn't do it. Pussy. What are you afraid of? Is this the same thing you're afraid of going on social media for? You don't want to get Instagram, or I don't know, literally anything. There are, what is there, like Twitter, Discord, Snapchat. I don't know. I could go on and on. There's so many social media. You don't have anything. Literally just YouTube. That's all you have. Why? Like, I just don't understand it. Once you expose yourself on internet, it can haunt you for the rest of life. I feel like you're missing some words there. It can haunt you for the rest of life. Yeah, well, you need to not be that paranoid. I think the truth is that, we really don't have anything to lose, honestly. People get way too nervous about doing things, and then you live your whole life never having done anything. Would you rather live a life where you don't do anything, or a life where you're taking a few risks, and then you actually get something out of it? There is no risk, no reward. That's my mentality. And you have to trust, too, that you can roll with the punches. You have to trust that you're not just going to be completely beaten down and fucked over by life. You can't be afraid to do things that you want to do, things that you could actually get something out of. Everyone uses social media. What do you think, that you're better than everyone? You think that everyone else is fucked, but you're going to be okay? How lonely is that? You're the only person who's going to survive if the world ends because of social media? I mean, like, think ahead, Dave. Just, if everyone else is doing it, that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do, but it does mean that you will be alone if you don't do it. And, it depends what's being done. If everyone decides to start murdering people, obviously, encourage people to not do that. But regarding social media, it's not even comparable to anything that you would maybe not want to say, like, oh, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? It's not the same thing. Social media is something that people actually get joy out of, and it doesn't really hurt anybody. It can, but I think, if anything, it's done more good than harm. It's, if anything, just exposed the darkness that was already there. A lot of the dark things that go on, a lot of the things that happen, they were happening regardless. It's just that social media shines a light on it. It puts it right out in the open. You look in the comment section of any post on social media, and you see this is what people really think. This is what people are really like. And that is worth exposing. We should shine a light on ugliness, because it's there either way. And then maybe we can actually address it if we're shining a light on it. Maybe I can add a pic. What, on your YouTube profile picture? Royce! I got Royce here. And I am talking to someone who doesn't believe in social media. Any thoughts? Dave, I wouldn't stop you if you wanted to add your face in your profile picture. Royce said, I'm stupid sometimes. Because he said he didn't realize it was Sunday. I said, well, you knew it was Easter. Easter's always on a Sunday. I believe it's the first Sunday after the first full moon in spring or something. That sounds about right. Is it something like that? Let me look it up. When is Easter and why? The date of Easter is determined by the moon. Easter always falls on the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. So basically what I just said. The first Sunday after the first full moon in spring. And I believe the full moon was on Thursday. Oh, God. If any of you think you're ugly, be glad you don't look like that. Unless you do. Eshon des porindial katansto. Mijoto. Oh, believe it or not, it exists. Just think, Dave, you could finally meet handsome Tristan. Right? I know, Dave is always fucking drooling over me in every live stream. Dave is a very interesting person. There are a lot of things about him that don't seem to go together. Like, I mean, he says things that just don't make sense at the same time, but they're both true for him. Like, he doesn't like social media, but he's on YouTube, I mean, pretty much all the time, watching live streamers. He doesn't like the word gay, but he is not attracted to women at all and is very much attracted to me and I think some other live streamers. I don't think he likes the term homosexual either, because I tried to make a joke, because when he saw Zach on the screen, he goes, "Ew, Zach." And I said, well, I'm going to title my next video, Dave is a homosexual. And he said not to use words like that. So he's gay, but he doesn't like the word gay. He's on YouTube all the time, but he doesn't like social media. He seems to be on my side regarding most of the political stuff that I say, and yet he also is a huge Trump supporter, which doesn't really go together either. I just don't understand Dave. I don't get it. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it, but maybe if I got to know him personally, privately, maybe I would, but he's just a commenter at this point. I don't even know what he looks like. His face isn't in his profile picture. Oh, maybe it is now. Well, then let me go to his channel. I think I finally see very small what he looks like, but let me make it bigger. I can't believe he actually did that. I'm impressed. Hey, everybody. Let's see, did he comment on my... He did. Oh, wow. Wow, I'm really glad I can finally put a face to the name. Thank you, Dave. All right. That's fantastic. Well, at least I know what you look like. It's not the same as like having a private conversation with you, but I'm glad I know what you look like now. I gotta look at it again. I gotta look up close. I took a screenshot. Yeah, you're cute. every time you comment, I just picture your profile picture, which isn't, you know, I just associate the name with that, whatever image you have in your profile picture. It's so weird to actually see a person. It's like, I don't know, it's like I built you up as not even a face in my mind, and now I really know what you look like, and now I'm gonna try at least to picture you every time you comment something. I don't know, it just makes you more real. It's almost like in my mind you weren't even a real person, you know? um, and now you are. And you're still one of my most loyal followers on YouTube. You're always watching my new content, and if you don't, it's because you don't know about it. Same with Cheryl. You and Cheryl, you're the only ones that are guaranteed to stick around I really appreciate that, because there are times when I wonder if YouTube is even going anywhere for me. And then there are times when I think, holy shit, maybe it could actually happen, like when I had that random viral video on my other channel, but it stopped at 1,000 views, which was a little disappointing. But that doesn't have to happen. Like, it could keep going. And maybe it was the title. Like, the LGBT community, maybe titles like that get views. I have to pay attention to this kind of shit. And I have to test the algorithm and see what I can do, because I got a good amount of views on a video about narcissists, and I've talked about narcissists since then, and again, not that many views. So, sometimes I wonder if the title actually does work, or if the issue is just simply that I got lucky. Maybe there is no algorithm, maybe there is no no way to crack the code and get a guaranteed viral video every time. I have to pee really bad. And I'm not going to end the stream. I'm just going to go. The bots. Oh, I gotta go. Holy shit. Oh, it's bad. I'll be back.
People who are bad and mean. I don't like people who are mean and rude. I don't like people who dress in the nude. Be a bad person.
Dave, you are a handsome guy. Not really. Says we have 5 people watching. It does. Yeah, where are you? I'm only seeing Dave and Cheryl. Who are the other 3? Dave, tell me more about yourself. I'm curious to know, like, what your who the what your deal is. Like, where how what was your upbringing like? What does your family know about you? Like, what do you do with most of your days, most of your time? Oh, Royce is one of the other 3. Okay, he lives in Connecticut. I might be 2 of the other 3, to be honest, since I'm commenting on my phone and watching on the TV. You certainly are then 2 of the other 3. Of course you would be 2. If you're watching it from 2 devices, then yeah. So that means there's only one mystery person. Who are you? We got Dave, we got Cheryl, we got 2 Royces. That's 4. Who's the mystery 5th? I feel like Dave said he was 25, but I could be misremembering that. Dave, are you here? You haven't said anything in a minute. Where have you gone? Hey, I was right. He is 25. I have a good memory. Did she really? Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh my god.
I'm screaming like a cat on a stove. It cranked the heat up. I was cold. My hands grew mold around my heart. And
And all my anger, sadness, regret disappeared. It's madness, I'm not used to all this water love. It's true, but you make me want to plan out my last days on earth, eating you. Ooh, the tips of your teeth fit perfect in me. You're the shower of light I devour any day of the week. Baby, cleanse me. I was surprised to see heaven in your eyes. I never once was treated right. You're what I'm missing in my life. As bright as the sun, give me your vitamin D. Let's run into another dimension. You make me feel like I'm on drugs. I'm screaming like a kettle on the stove. You crank the heat up. I was cold. My past grew mold around my heart. And all my anger, sadness, regret disappeared. It's madness, I'm not used to all this water love. It's true, but you make me want to plan out my last days on earth, eating you. Ooh, the tips of your teeth Fit perfect in me, you're the shower of light I devour any day of the week. Baby, cleanse me. Where are all the comments? And Dave, where are your answers to the other questions I asked? I still swear I'm taking you to karaoke sometime. I wouldn't mind that, I guess. I'm trying to think of a good song for my grandma's friend Linda to sing. She wants to, you know, she learned These Boots Are Made for Walking, and that's the only song she knows. And she wants to learn another one, and I was asked if I knew anything that she might want to sing. And I know hundreds of songs, hundreds. And I'm sure I could think of something if I really put my mind to it. I just gotta pick like an artist, and you have a beautiful voice. Thank you, Cheryl. I gotta think of something that she might want to sing. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. I have trouble sometimes getting my voice super deep, unless it's early in the morning. Then my voice is always deep. Like, I can get it really deep in the morning. But yeah, I think I have a nice vocal range. It could certainly be better, and it could certainly be more rehearsed and pronounced. I'm sure there are techniques I could learn if I went to get some kind of training to control my breath, to control, you know, the way that I sing, and to really find confidence in my own voice. But right now my skill comes from having a decent amount of control over my voice, having an awareness of what I sound like when I sing, and just generally being good at mimicking what I hear from others. I can sing Josh Turner low. I don't know who Josh Turner is, so I don't know that reference. I sing Country Roads, John Denver, and Drinking Problem. Okay. That'd be interesting. I would love to hear Royce sing. There's some people that you never even think about them singing, and then you hear them sing and you're like, holy shit, you can actually sing. It's so funny. Like my grandma's friend Linda, they've known each other for, I don't know what, like their whole lives, like pretty much since they were in, like, I don't know, middle school. And she never knew that Linda could sing. Linda never in all those years mentioned anything until, I don't know, like a month or two ago. And she did karaoke and sang that song. And now she's got a live performance of her singing it that's on YouTube. My grandpa posted it. So it's interesting. She's got a nice voice. She definitely can carry a tune. There's some people you hear them sing and you're like, did you just invent a note? What was that? But, you know, then there's people where you hear them sing and it's like they're more than just singing along or enjoying a song. They're really like, you know, finding their own voice and getting really into it. So that is something that I always am shocked when I find out someone can sing, because when you talk to someone, you never think about them singing unless you already know that they're a singer. So it's always surprising. You're like, I wonder what your singing voice sounds like. It's interesting. It also requires a certain level of confidence that a lot of people don't have. Like my mom, I think, has a great voice, but I cannot picture her with the confidence to actually try and sing something in a serious way, to try and sing a serious song and, you know, be taken seriously as she's singing it. She can only sing to be goofy, but in being goofy, you can tell she has a great voice. So that's one of the things that I'm talking about. It takes a special kind of confidence to sing like that. And I mean, Linda's full of surprises. She is a weird person. She's awesome. So that doesn't really surprise me, but it is still weird that it never came up in, you know, her entire years of friendship with my grandma. Like, I don't know, like 60 plus years they've been friends. Many people have stage fright. Yeah, that's an issue too. You probably have stage fright, Dave. I mean, you seem like a very shy, reserved person. I can't really. I don't know. I don't know too much about you. I finally know what you look like. But I know you're from Connecticut. But I wanted to know more about you. Like I wanted to know where, I wanted to know like what your childhood was like, what your family's like, what your family knows about you, what you do in your spare time, that kind of stuff. Like I want to get an idea of like who you are and what your life is like. How many relationships have you been in? I need to do a whole Dave Q&A. I want to get to know Dave. Have you ever been in a relationship with a guy? Have you ever been in a relationship with a girl? What do you believe regarding relationships? You ever had an online relationship? Probably not, because you don't even have social media, so I don't know how that would have even begun. I have an older sister, both parents still married. Okay, that's a start. Where's my water? I have a little bit of a headache. I've been off today. I was in the shower earlier and I almost fucking fainted. Like I just remember all of a sudden, right as I was about to get out too, I was just gonna rinse off the soap and my vision started to go black. And I think it's because I hadn't eaten anything leading up to that. And I had to get down on the floor of the shower and like just recollect myself. And I went into some other dimension. Like I didn't even know how much time had passed. I was like, whoa, where did I just go? I was seeing green. I don't even remember. I must have gone into some other series of thoughts, but it's all a blur. I don't remember it now, kind of like a dream, like you don't always remember your dreams. And I came back into reality and I was like, wait a minute, I'm in the shower. What the fuck just happened? And then I stood back up. I don't even know how long I was down there for, but I stood back up and it came right back. And I was like, nope, I'm going back down. And I just sat there and I was like, why couldn't this have happened in 10 minutes so I could just lay on my bed? Why do I have to be at the bottom of the goddamn shower? It was horrible. But I eventually got out. I looked at myself in the mirror after I got out and I was like, oh my God, I'm white as a ghost. I looked bad. I looked like I was going to throw up. And I felt ill too. I felt like I was going to throw up. It was bad. So, I was able to, I was like shaking, drying myself off. I got out of the bathroom, and slowly I was able to feel a little bit back to normal. I went down and I ate something, and even there I was kind of feeling a little bit like out of it. And then I went to the bathroom and I had a giant shit, and I felt better after that. But even right now I'm feeling a little off, and I don't know quite why. It's just been an off day. I have had an off week. So many strange things have happened this past week. I can't even begin to get into it. A lot of it is related to my online friends. It's just been a very fucked up week, and I feel like everyone can relate to that. I feel like it's a collective thing, because everyone I've talked to about it seems to have shit going on of their own. So there's probably some astrological explanation behind it. There always seems to be. If ever I look at the planets, that's like, I think it has something to do with the eclipse. That wouldn't surprise me. For sure. Sounds like you needed to drink water. Maybe it was low blood pressure. Don't know what the fuck it was. I certainly wasn't going to drink shower water. What did your online friend do to you? Nobody did anything to me. It was just drama regarding friends that I have online. Like one of them left his ex's house and ran off with like I don't know, some neighbor or something, some girl. And they were almost about to like leave the state, and then she drugged him and abandoned him. And then he had to go back, I guess, because there was some drama involving like the police looking for a missing person and he had to give a description or something. I don't know. There was like weird shit like that. A couple of my friends just randomly blocked me. I mean, like longtime friends that I've had since like at least December, which is months. And, you know, we got close, we got to know each other, and just gone out of nowhere. Some of them didn't block me, but they left a group chat that we were in, no explanation or anything. It's just been weird. And this is all like within the last week or two. So it's just a lot at once. Plus my whole family was gone. I was left like just with the dog and my aunt for a whole week. And, you know, everyone came back yesterday, except my grandpa. He's still going to be in Florida for another month, but, it's just been so weird. Everything's just been off. My chair broke. I had to get a new chair, and now my new chair is, like, slightly smaller. It doesn't quite fit me and Zach. But it's comfortable when I'm by myself. It's just that, you know, if we're both sitting in it like we used to, this one is not quite the same size as the other one, and it doesn't fit both of our asses. So, it kind of does, just not, you know, one of us is going to be overlapped a little bit. So, we'll get used to it, but there's just been a lot of weird shit. Some of it I don't even want to bother, like, opening up a can of worms over. But, it's just been so much at once. Dave, I asked you more questions than what you answered. I don't know if you were listening, or if you tuned out for a minute, or if maybe you just don't want to answer those questions. I don't know. It's up to you, but if you need me to, I can do one at a time. Sorry. Yeah, Royce agrees that it's been a weird week for all of us. I felt weird even as I was saying friends that I've had for a long time, and I'm referring to only 4 months ago. Like, I know 4 months isn't that long, but it's long enough that you wouldn't expect them to just randomly leave with no explanation. Right? I was eating a couple Slim Jims leading up to the live stream, and every time I picked one up, I thought to myself, there's work I gotta do, there's something I gotta do. And you know how nice it feels to pick one up now and think, oh, there's something you gotta do, and then remember, this is it, I'm already doing it. This is the work that I was referring to. So I can relax and just eat a Slim Jim. However, regarding work, there are other things that I've been thinking about a lot today. I came to a realization that some aspects of the idea of moving out are not quite as difficult as I thought they needed to be. I think that I have more options than what I realized. And I could do it sooner, I think, than I realized, too. And I also have other things that I want to work on either way. Like, I want to... Sorry. I wanted to, have an amnesia. Oh yeah, I still would like to make my own website, and I was going to try and figure out a way to get that in motion. I'm still going to try and finish my book, and then start on the actual book that I want to take a little more seriously. and just generally take a lot of that more seriously and really get the work done. Don't just start it and then not finish it. I wanted to, excuse me, I wanted to figure out, just in general, some of the stuff that I want to do, but I can do it all while I'm working and like paying rent and stuff. And I think, you know, moving out somewhere with Zach, we are also considering, like, you know, maybe finding a third person to live with us, because that would obviously make it cheaper, because it's a third person chipping in to pay rent, basically. But then we have the question of who and how would that work? So, you know, we just have to figure that out, and it depends on where we go. There are places we could go that we wouldn't need a third person to help out, but the place that he just showed me, which I kind of like the idea of, but I'm still not 100% sure. I obviously would need to see it for myself, but I can't, I like the idea of it. There are a lot of things about it that I like and that I could kind of visualize and see maybe actually happening, but there are still other practical things I would need to figure out. And I think if we were to get a third person to live with us, I think that might actually make it more worth doing. It might be more fun and more interesting, because it isn't just me and Zach doing something. It would be like we were actually, because, you know, that's kind of old. It's like we already know what it's like to be around each other. But with a third person, it would feel more like a new experience, and it would kind of feel even like more worth paying for. And ironically, that would make it cheaper. Even though I said that would make it feel more worth paying for, it would be less payment on my part anyway. It's just a question of who the fuck, and when the fuck, and how the fuck, and what the fuck. But I have a clearer picture now of what I can do. It seems in arm's reach. I'm not giving all the details, because it's not that I don't want to jinx it, it's just that it doesn't really matter. Not to you guys. You guys aren't moving out with me, so it doesn't make a difference. I just randomly got the urge to sit in my chair and make it recline, because it reclines in a different way from my other chair. One time I had a chair like this in the basement at our old house, and my grandpa was always sitting in it, and I didn't like that. I said, "Why are you sitting in my chair?" And you know what he said? Me telling him not to sit in that chair was elder abuse.
He goes, "There's this thing called elder abuse. You can't do that to me. It's elder abuse."
He's such a fucking idiot. I didn't take my vitamins today. Dave, for the love of God, you keep not answering my questions. Dave, I just want to know if you heard my other questions before. Can you at least answer that? Did you hear the questions I asked? And if not, are you willing to answer them if I ask them again one at a time? I'm just trying to get to know you better, man. You know so much about me. I went to college in New Hampshire. That's great. I don't remember asking where you went to college, but that I appreciate that you're acknowledging that I'm asking you questions. If you're uncomfortable answering the questions that I ask, you can tell me that too. what did you do in college? I mean, like, what did you want to get out of it? What did you want to be? What are you? Like, what's your profession? Is it something that you got with your college degree or whatever? Or are you doing something unrelated? My chair is just so nice. I'm sorry, I love looking at my chair. Even though it's slightly smaller, it is shiny, it's more comfortable, it's got a better mechanic to make it recline. I don't have to fight with it when I'm pushing it back in. The other one, when I had to, close it to, like, make it unrecline, I was fighting this thing. It was ridiculous. I had to, like, really cram it in there and it wouldn't lock in. This one, you need no pressure. You just push your legs down and it just clicks. You can even do it slowly. The other one, no, you had to fucking smash it in. It would not stop any other way. That chair, I had a lot of grievances with it. It annoyed the shit out of me for a number of reasons. Even making it recline, there was a string tucked under the side of the arm that I had to pull, and I had to give that thing a good hard yank. That's actually how it broke, although Zach was the one to do it, so I'm blaming him. But I try to take that every morning, but I always forget. I wonder if that has anything to do with me feeling faint. Forgot to take my vitamin. I'm sure it didn't help that I didn't take the vitamin, even though I doubt that's why it happened. Or why I still feel kind of off, even now. What the living fuck? Dave, my dude. Oh, there you are. Just have a part-time job right now. Slim Jims again? Yeah, Slim Jims again. Zach got me like 46. So, Dave. I appreciate you answering some of the questions I asked. You haven't answered most of them, though, and I just want to know if it's intentional. Are you avoiding those questions on purpose? Are you not comfortable answering some of them? Am I asking too many in a row? Is that it? What questions? Well, I don't know. What was one of the questions? I asked a lot, to be fair. I asked, like, about your dating history. How many people have you dated? I asked if you've ever dated a girl or dated a guy. I feel like I need to sit down. I'm gonna sit on my floor and I'm gonna just... move the camera. Because, oh God, I really feel kind of out of it. There's my chair. I don't think, no, if I sit in here, I'll be too high up. You won't be able to see me. You can barely see me even with me on the floor, so that answers that. When did you get chair? A couple days ago. Wednesday, I want to say. Wednesday. You've dated 2 people. Are they both male? Does your circle know that you like guys? Like your friends and family? Because you said that the guy thing was a secret, so I wonder if you're in the closet. You've never said anything. So they all think you like girls. And you don't? Probably. Well, how come it didn't work out with the guy that you dated? Sorry if that's too personal. You don't have to tell me. I keep forgetting it's Easter. Doesn't feel like Easter. I feel like Easter used to feel a lot more fun. We were just too different, I think. Very undramatic, but unfortunately very common. That's all it is sometimes. You don't have enough in common with someone. You just don't connect. You don't feel like there's anything between you. And that is totally valid. What do you think, Dave, that you have in common with me? Would you date me if you could? If I don't know, lived near you? He went to law school. Interesting. He's a lawyer? Or interested in... Sorry, interested in law in general? I'm always eating on my live streams now. Sure you would date me? What about the other question? I asked if you think we have anything in common. What do I have in common with you, Dave? I mean, you pretty much know everything about me. Well, not everything, but most things, to be fair. I'm pretty open. I don't really have any secrets. And you have been watching me for a while, so I'm sure you could give an accurate judgment of, if we have a lot in common or not. I'm pretty open about the way I see the world, about my political, philosophical views, a lot. There's a lot that I'm very open about, even my family life and stuff like that. So what do we have in common? I think we both understand that Zach has his head in the clouds a little. I will grant you that Zach is a goofball. And in a lot of ways, he's like this happy little puppy. But I still think that he's grounded enough to know the truth from fiction. I think that he can take a moment to pause and reflect. I've seen him reflect. He's bless his heart, he's very candid when he reflects, when he gets angry. He's not good at hiding his emotions at all, but nevertheless he does it anyway. He can take being picked on, you know, and kind of like a noogie, you know, that level of picking on someone, not like punching someone in the face. It's like the verbal equivalent of a noogie versus punching someone, you know. It's just like messing his hair up a little. And he's got the kind of hair that just falls wherever he wants it. My hair is so stiff that if you mess it up, it stays messed up, and I need to go brush it. Like, I'm very anal about my hair. Do not touch my hair if you ever meet me in person. That goes to everyone. Stay the fuck away from my hair. Unless I have flat ironed it or done something to it to make sure that it's a little loose and more able to actually, you know, fall into place. My natural hair as it is, do not touch it. It will ruin my day. Unless I have a hairbrush with me, in which case it will ruin the next 5 minutes because I'll be in front of the mirror fucking around with it. That's why I try to keep it short, because there's less to fuck around with. But Zach's hair, if you mess it up, he's got great hair. Just falls right back to where it was. We won't touch your hair. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. You know, I think there's a lot of shame regarding stuff like that. You know, almost like I feel guilty that I care so much about my hair. Guilty that it could ruin my time. Thinking like, if I'm out having fun and someone messes up my hair and they're just trying to be fun, now I'm in a bad mood. And that makes me feel guilty. Like, oh, I'm the party pooper, or I'm picky and I gotta find a solution so that that doesn't happen. But honestly, why is someone touching my hair in the first place? I feel like I have a right to be annoyed by that because, you know, if it's someone who knows me well enough to know that it wouldn't bother me, they would know that it would bother me. And someone who doesn't know me that well has no business touching my hair in the first place. Like with Zach, I know him well enough to know what I can and can't do and say to him. If he were a stranger, I wouldn't be picking on him at all. I wouldn't be, you know, giving him a noogie. But I know him. That's the difference. Anyone who actually knows me well enough to be appropriate to touch my hair should know that I wouldn't want my hair touched. So that's what I'm saying. So I do feel justified in getting offended by that because it's not something someone should be doing. It's disrespectful, especially since they should know that I don't like it. And I almost feel like some people who know me pretty well have made me feel guilty about that. Guilty, like feeling like a party pooper. Or like I'm a stick in the mud, I don't want to have fun, I don't want to get messy. It's like, well, because then I have to clean up the mess that I make. If I go play in the mud, then now I gotta walk home with muddy clothes and wet shoes, and I gotta do my laundry and track mud and that. You know, there's a million things that you have to think about the aftermath of that as an adult is your responsibility. As a kid, it's your parents' responsibility. They deal with that for you. But when you're an adult, you have to clean up your own messes. Therefore, you are less inclined to make messes in the first place. And things that you thought were fun when you were a kid become less fun because now you have to balance it with the aftermath and say, is it fun enough that it's actually worth cleaning up the mess it's going to cause? Or is it really not worth it? And that's the kind of stuff that you have to weigh as an adult. And I do that regarding what I'm going to cook. Am I going to cook my like a whole meal just for myself, and then, you know, am I going to spend more time cleaning it up than I am eating it? Like, these are the things you have to consider. And I generally try to, you know, eat things that have very little cleanup time and try to do things that are fun that don't really require a ton of cleanup afterwards, and like, you know, going swimming, for example, is a whole thing to me. I don't like having to put sunscreen on. I don't like having to, you know, take a shower after I was just in water the whole time, and then water in my ears. There's like a million things that could happen, and all of them are annoying. And it's just so that what, I can flap around in the water for a little while. It's not even that fun, especially during the day when there's other people around and you get self-conscious. It's just not my thing. But I have people who would make me feel guilty about that in my life. Going to the beach, I hate the beach. You get sand in your toes, you get sand everywhere. I don't even like to be barefoot on the beach because you could step on a million things. There's like broken glass and shit. There's all sorts of shit on the beach and disgusting people. There's pee, I'm sure, from seagulls and whatnot. I don't want to be walking around barefoot on that. And then, you know, so I keep my shoes on, and I get sand on my sneakers, or I get sand on wherever the fuck I'm going. Sand is everywhere. It's just blows, and then it's like, oh shit, there's sand all of a sudden on my pants and my shoes. You know, and then you go in the water, and the water's disgusting, and you want to clean yourself up, and then when you're wet and you're walking up from the beach, now you've got sand sticking all over you because you're wet, and it sticks to the wetness. And that's why they have those little hoses at you know, public beaches where you got like a thing where you can clean your feet off. But I mean, it doesn't really help. You still feel disgusting. You still want to take a shower. And it's like such a mess. Again, with beaches, like you get sunburned, you feel like you're in a disgusting situation. There's all sorts of weird shit in the ocean, even close to the shore, and there's disgusting people. Like, oh my God, so many people everywhere. It's like, why would I want to experience that? Not only do I have to deal with the cleanup afterwards, but the experience itself isn't even enjoyable to me. Although that's something I didn't even like when I was a kid. There are some things that I liked as a kid that I don't like as an adult. The beach is something I've never liked. I never understood the appeal of the beach. It's always just been a horrible environment to me. Maybe a beach by myself, one that is peaceful, but certainly not a public beach. And even if I was by a beach by myself, I would need to come up with a solution for the sand issue. I'll just put it like this. There have been beaches that I've seen that did seem peaceful, but I have never been to any of those beaches. The beach that I have by my cottage, that is pretty close. But even that still I don't go on because of just the sand. It's too much. I have boots that I bought with the intention of being able to walk on the beach without worrying about getting sand in them. They're rubber and there's no holes for the sand to go into. But Zach is saying he'd be embarrassed to be seen with me if I was wearing boots like that on the beach. And I'll grant him, I know I would look ridiculous, but if he wants to go on the beach with me, he's gonna have to be okay with it. Because I would never do it voluntarily. It would be him dragging me along to something. So that's the compromise. You're going to have to just deal with me looking goofy. I call it practical. All right, let me go back and catch up on some comments. You and Zach balance each other out. Personal boundaries. Yes, we should respect one another's space. So you're not easygoing then. Well, I don't feel like it's that I'm not easygoing. I just feel like I'm more thoughtful and practical regarding the decisions that I make. I can be easygoing. You know, I'm not just like sitting there finding things to hate about everything. I'm just being reasonable about what things entail. And I can have a good time. I just think my idea of a good time is different from a lot of other people's, and I sometimes judge myself for that and think things like that about myself, like, oh, I'm not easygoing, or I'm not fun, or I'm not, you know, and I get those words get in my head and make me think negative things about myself. I don't want to be perceived that way. I don't want to perceive myself that way because it's not true. I can have a good time. I can be really fun. I can do crazy wild shit. It just needs to feel worth it to me. And a lot of the time, I don't feel like it is. I don't get sunburn, perks of being part Hispanic. That must be nice. I get sunburned very easily. I just was walking from the pool to my house in Florida, which was like, I don't know, a very tiny neighborhood. It was very, very close. It took maybe like 5 minutes to walk. and I got a sunburn on the back of my neck that quickly. But I get that they have water shoes. Yeah, I've worn water shoes before. Royce says you're very easygoing. You just have particular things you do to enjoy things sometimes. Yeah. I try to be. It's not like I bitch about it and make it someone else's problem. You know, it's not like I'm saying I need you to do this for me, or you you bring me somewhere and I'm just complaining the whole time. If I'm complaining, it's done in kind of a comedic way, kind of like me just saying like I don't understand what's going on here. And it's also a little bit of a defensive thing because I sometimes feel like I'm being judged for not liking the same things as other people. So maybe sometimes I complain out of defensiveness, but in general I don't really complain, especially not in a serious way, unless I'm really going through it. In which case, um I will only be complaining just to in the same way that I would be bitching out loud if I stubbed my toe or something, like I'll be going, fucking hey, my finger or whatever. Yeah, I just cut my finger. I don't know. Like I'll be making a whole scene, but I'm not gonna expect anybody to do anything. Like just let me have my temper tantrum. It makes me feel better to just get it out. You don't have to interact with me. You can leave the room. I understand if you don't want to be around me. Because there's nothing you can do anyway. And if there was, I wouldn't expect you to do it. I would just, try to handle it myself. Because that's what I like to do. I don't like to involve other people unnecessarily, and I don't ever like to make anybody else uncomfortable. But at the same time, I understand that there are situations in which other people will be uncomfortable because of you, and all you were doing was being yourself, being authentic, being honest. And that is something you should never apologize for. If someone is uncomfortable and you're not even doing anything but being yourself, don't apologize. Don't try to make them comfortable. Say, you know what, you're going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's unfortunate. I feel bad for you. I wish that you would be comfortable around me. And let me know if there's anything I can do short of changing myself for you, compromising myself for you. I think people could stand to be a little bit politer to one another, but still call out disrespectful behavior and inappropriate behavior. Like me, family events are annoying to me. Oh yeah, family events. Normally, you know what's really ironic? Easter and Thanksgiving are two holidays that we would always go to my grandpa's mom's house for and spend time with my grandpa's side of the family. And yet those are the two holidays that he's always in Florida. He's in Florida every Thanksgiving, every Easter, and yet those are the two holidays that we go to his family. I don't understand that. Like, why do we go to his side of the family only on the holidays that he's not even here? It's very weird because the other holidays we usually involve my grandma's side of the family, and he is here for that. So I don't know what that's about. I think it is just purely coincidental, but it was pointed out to me once and I was like, yeah, that is odd. I don't know how that worked out like that. What time is it? Ooh, Curb is on in 12 minutes. That really slipped away from me. I can't believe it's already 12 minutes away. I enjoy sitting here with you guys. It's much better than standing. I was getting tired. I've been tired today. I literally almost fainted. I could have died if I had fainted and not had the forethought, which every time I've ever had this happen, I have the forethought to lay down or get down on the ground. I never just try to stay standing. But if I had, I could have slipped and fallen and hit my head on the nozzle, the faucet, whatever, and I could have died. If I hit my head in just the right spot, I could have died today. But I had the forethought to sit down on the bottom of the bathtub and recollect myself there. But yeah, that could have gone very differently, which is a scary thought, honestly. Hope you start feeling better. I think it's just something in the air, honestly, because my aunt said the same thing. She said that she almost felt like dizzy earlier today, although I don't know if feeling dizzy is the same as feeling like you're going to faint. The symptoms that I experience when I feel faint are I feel I get cold sweats, I start to not be able to see, and I cannot even begin to describe the way it feels internally. It feels like I'm going to throw up, and it feels like I'm checking out, like my brain is not functioning in the normal way. I don't feel mentally well at all. I feel like my body's shutting down and betraying me. It's a very scary, overwhelming feeling. And when I think of times that it's happened, it happened one time when I hit my knee really hard on the stairs. I tripped and hit my knee, and the shock of it, the pain, it must have just sent my body into like a let's shut down and let him recover before we make him feel the pain or something. Because I just remember all of a sudden I was starting to not be able to see, and I ran over to the couch and laid down and watched my vision start to come back. And then years later, this was just like, I don't know, last year, maybe, I think it was last year or like a little bit at the end of 2022, but I think it was 2023, maybe early, because I think I was still working at Rite Aid, so it was probably end of 2022. I slammed my thumb in the refrigerator door. It hurt so fucking bad that almost as soon as I did it, my first reaction was to run it under hot water or cold water, just in case it was bleeding, which I know is ridiculous. I didn't think it was bleeding. It's just that whenever I injure myself, I don't like to look at it. I hold it and then I don't look at it until I've got it running underwater, just to be safe. And as I did that, I realized it wasn't bleeding. The issue was internal. And I stepped back, and it happened again. I started to lose my vision. I had to get down on the floor. I felt like I was going to throw up. It was getting cold sweats. It really fucked me up. And that's exactly what just happened in the shower earlier. So it's got to be something to do with like something quick or traumatic happening that my body isn't like ready for. Like I don't know, like pain or just like a shock. Anything that shocks me. And it also happened once when I didn't eat. Like I came flying out of bed, and ran downstairs to the cupboard. And as I was standing in front of the cupboard, I was like, "Whoa, hold on! I feel like I'm gonna throw up. What's going on? I don't feel well." So sometimes it happens when I don't eat. I think that might be what it was caused by today. But then again, my aunt said she was dizzy, which isn't exactly the way I would describe how I felt. But it's still weird that we both had something go on today. So maybe it's just something in the air. Who knows? My grandma, who just came back from a different state, was also saying something about the air here. So could be anything. That's exactly happened to me too. Mine have all hit out of nowhere, twice while driving. Holy shit, that's got to be terrifying. You got to pull over immediately and slam on the brakes or something. A Charlie horse can be like that. Ooh, I know what you're talking about. Mine have all been cold sweats, tunnel vision, getting darker and darker, heart racing, feeling about to pass out, stumbling, trying to walk. Exactly. It's exactly what it feels like. I've never actually fully fainted, except when I went down on the ground in the shower earlier. I swear I don't know where the fuck I went. Like I just remember coming out of it and just seeing something green, and just coming out of this series of thoughts that I had just gone into. I was like, wait a minute. There was like music, there was all sorts of weird shit going on, and I was like, whoa, 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 I'm in the shower. Where the fuck am I? How long has it been since I was down here? So I'm pretty sure it had only been like maybe 20 seconds, but I went somewhere else. It was weird. I don't know how to even explain that. The aftermath was pretty bad too. I thought I had to poop, and I'm just sitting there, like shaking, mostly dried off, just like thinking, help me. Can I just get my clothes on and get the fuck out of here? I was afraid that it was gonna happen again. I wasn't sure if I was still fully with it. Once I was out of the bathroom, I was pretty much good, but it's, I've just felt off all day. Well, since then, not necessarily all day. I feel like the term hysteria is rooted in sexism. I've never full went out either. I don't know what it was. Yeah. I mean, thank God. Maybe I think that's what it could have been. You know, I think like if I had maybe tried to fight it instead of just getting down and going with it, I could have passed out potentially. I think it's just that I was willing to work with it. I sat down on the ground. I was willing to slow down and stop what I was doing. If I had kept trying to do whatever it is I was doing, like if I was driving, you know, if I just continued acting like it wasn't happening, I think that might have overloaded, you know, because I was already at an overload. It's like, stop, that's enough. Slow down, stop whatever you're doing, and just sit down. Don't even stand, don't use any energy. I didn't even have the energy to think a full thought. I didn't have the energy to grab the soap and, like, you know, finish cleaning myself off. I couldn't do anything. You know, I wanted to just put my towel down on the ground and just lay on the bathroom floor. I was like really, I couldn't, it hurt me to even have that many thoughts. I had to just stop. So if I had tried fighting it and tried to do all these things anyway, that could have been me actually fainting involuntarily. And then I'd be on the ground and it would be even worse because I would have fallen instead of gracefully laying down. And it reminds me of that one Victoria's Secret Karen, my favorite Karen. This one I love so much because it is such a perfect example of how adult human beings can behave in completely despicable and inappropriate ways in public and get away with it. And I think it is also a racism issue. But in that case, it just was some spoiled, entitled bitch having a temper tantrum and expecting to be indulged. What she needed was a goddamn timeout, and instead she was expecting people to come help the poor little thing. I mean, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It starts with her going to slap a woman in the face or maybe snatch her phone away from her, both of which are completely inappropriate. And then as soon as she realizes it's recording, she backs away and she's like, I wasn't doing anything. Oh no, I wasn't doing anything. Please don't get mad at me. And then she did this fake faint thing where she's like, and then puts her purse down and lays her head down on her purse and just pretends to be passed out for like 20 minutes. Just lays there, acting like, oh, it was too much for me. And then she's laying on the ground, flailing around, going, she's recording me! Tell her to stop! And this woman's recording her, and she's like, I can't stop recording her. She just chased me all around the store. When the police get here, who you think they're gonna believe? Her white ass or my black ass? And the woman goes, no! And how I interpreted the no is, no, don't make it about racism. I'm not racist. It's like, you know, white people are always desperately trying to claim that they're not racist. And it's like, imagine, you know, as if it's the worst thing in the world to have someone think that you're doing something racist. Imagine actually experiencing racism. I imagine that's a lot worse. And I think, ironically, they take it a lot better, you know, because they're used to it, just like women are used to sexism and gay people are used to discrimination. It's the privileged people who've never experienced what it's actually like to be treated like shit, like you don't deserve to exist, who act like fucking babies and cannot handle it. It's ridiculous. They don't know what real pain is like. They don't know anything. They're fucking wimps. And it's really sad because they have so much authority and power and they're way overindulged. And that video is a perfect example of why that needs to stop. We need to start acknowledging inappropriate behavior as inappropriate behavior, regardless of race, regardless of age. If you're acting like a toddler, I don't care if you're an adult. It is toddler behavior. There's no reason. If a toddler had been doing that, the mother would have been embarrassed, would have tried to take her out of the store and tell her that this is not an appropriate way to behave, but because she was an adult, the behavior was indulged. That's not okay. It's ridiculous. She chased that woman around trying to get her phone away from her, and she has a video of her running after her. It was so scary. Like, I would feel so uncomfortable if a complete stranger in public, when I was just trying to get some perfume or get some deal for some underwear wherever she was there, was chasing me around the store. You don't know what she's capable of. You don't know what she's willing to do. Anyone chasing you is terrifying. And she's like she's lying, she's calling the security, and she's like, and she did all these things to me, and it's like, just full of shit. But that's why we have video evidence of what really was said and what really happened, because people like her will try to tell you that things did not happen, that no, it never happened that way. My mom and I were just talking about, like, how my dad used to do stuff like that. She remembers being in a counseling session with him, and she brought up a time that he did something to her, and he looked her right in the eyes and said, that never happened. And she knew it did, he knew it did, and he so comfortably and confidently told her it never happened. I think it was something involving him picking her up by the throat and, like, throwing her against a wall. And there was another incident where I think she was raped. Like, I don't know, she was, like, on a beach with a campfire, and she was, like, pulled into the woods or something. I don't know, something happened. I don't know all the details, but basically, they came back into the circle of friends. That much I have clear. And the guy that just did that to her whispered in her ear, that didn't happen. As if to try and convince her of a false reality. I just did this thing to you, but no, I didn't. Like, what are you supposed to do? That is not, now you're not only physically abusing them, that's psychological abuse. You're trying to make them think they're crazy. And you're trying to turn everyone against them and make everyone else think they're crazy. And you're trying to get them to believe that that's the truth. That they don't know the truth about what happened. And there are all sorts of abusive people. I think I talked about abuse in one of my videos, but I don't remember how in-depth I got. I kind of want to do another video about abuse, because it is so common, not only in narcissistic relationships, but just in general. Abuse is hard sometimes to recognize when it is, psychological, because people will try to completely change your perception of the truth, of what really took place. And the reason that is so scary is because they're good at it. You may actually find yourself thinking, maybe that didn't happen like that, or maybe I did deserve it, or maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. And you may start to, because you want to be cordial with them. It's hard to make an enemy. It's hard to say something to someone that they won't want to hear, something that they'll try to fight you on. Because all you want to do is keep the peace, right? All you want to do is just have no drama, and you want to have comfortable interactions with them. But the problem is that you're uncomfortable because you never know what you can expect. That's the deal with abusive relationships, is that you never know what mood they're going to be in. You never know what they're going to do or say next. You never know if you can trust a word out of their mouth. They lie all the time. You never know if you can trust their intentions, if they're saying something with the intention of manipulating you, or if they're really just being honest and sharing their real opinions. And you treasure those moments when they're being honest, when you can tell that there's no drama, there's no manipulation, you're just having a good moment together. You treasure those moments because they give you this false hope that everything is okay, that there is no abuse, and that, you can just not have to actually do anything. But the truth is that the abuse is happening anyway, even if you have good moments like that. And that's what is really hard to accept, is that everyone has a good side to them. Everyone has good moments like that, because everyone is a human being. That doesn't mean that they aren't abusive. That doesn't mean you aren't being mistreated. And it doesn't mean that you don't need to stand up for yourself when someone is saying something hurtful to you and trying to manipulate you in any kind of way. You have to be honest, and you have to make sure that you're not compromising your integrity. One time, my mom said something to me about an idea she had that was kind of coming from an immature place. And I thought to myself, that's not a good idea. I don't know if I would do that. But then she continued, and I almost felt inclined to agree with her. I found myself looking through my head, trying to find things to say to be like, yeah, that's great, that's a good idea. And be like, I guess that would work in this situation or whatever. And then she and I both kind of stepped back and said, wait a minute, no, you're right, that's probably not a good idea. And I said, but I almost just agreed with you. I actually had to stop myself from looking for ways to tell you that that isn't a bad idea. And she agreed. She was like, yeah, that was immature. I shouldn't, that, I think that was maybe coming from a place of fear on my part. And it gave me so much relief to hear her say that, because it meant that I was right. It meant that I could both agree with her and not compromise my integrity. But how do you do the latter without the former? How do you maintain your integrity when the other person, they're not going to agree with you? Someone may say something to you with the intent of harming you, with the intent of manipulating you in some way, trying to control the situation for their own purposes, whatever they may be. And you may call that out and say, hey, this is what you're doing. It makes me uncomfortable. Please stop. Or that was really mean what you just said, or whatever. And they'll immediately argue with you and say, no, I didn't mean it like that. Or I didn't say that. Or, this is why I said, like, you got to be recording these people. You need video footage like that Victoria's Secret, Karen. Otherwise, they're gonna lie. They're gonna just say whatever they can in order to make you feel like you're wrong. But do not believe them. You can't believe them. There are misunderstandings. There are people who genuinely you don't know what they really meant, and they have to tell you so that you know more about their intentions and you know what they meant. Oh, I'm sorry, I locked my door.
Proceed with your live stream.
I'm wrapping it up. I started a few minutes ago, I started talking about abuse. So, like how my grandma has been this week. Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on with your grandma, Royce, but, yeah, it's important to look out for. You definitely don't want to just assume that you're wrong because someone is telling you that you're wrong. Because shouldn't you be able to laugh about it? Shouldn't you be able to feel like it isn't that big of a deal? Isn't that really what it's like when there is a misunderstanding? Because I know there have been times with people that I love where they took something I said the wrong way, and that's their own issue. I can't control how people interpret what I say. I know what I mean. But abusive people will use that to their advantage and try to convince you that you're just misinterpreting what they're saying. And, I'll give you an example. This is the best way that I could explain it. We all are familiar with the idea that we're not always going to correctly interpret what someone means. Because sometimes we have our own fears, our own traumas. Maybe someone is ghosting you, but it's just because they're busy. And that's not personal at all. Maybe they love talking to you. It's just that they don't really have a ton of free time. And maybe even though they don't talk to you very much, they actually are talking to you in all their free time. But because you've been hurt in the past, you're thinking that it's something else. Just for the sake of argument. There are situations where you genuinely are just misinterpreting something based on your own fears, your own kind of cynical thinking. However, what about the flip side of that? Because by that logic, if it really is always up to the person to tell you whether or not you're correct in interpreting their behavior, what if someone is really ghosting you and you're absolutely right in thinking that about them and they're trying to convince you that you're wrong? That can easily happen. So how can you tell the difference? You have to learn how to trust yourself. You have to learn how to trust your instincts. And you have to know what it actually feels like to be in a relationship with someone who loves and respects your time, your energy, and isn't selfish, isn't fearful, isn't manipulative, genuinely knows how to treat other people. And you can see this in their friend circle. If you look at what they do in their everyday life, if you look at like things about them, you can tell how they operate, how they think. And if it's healthy, if it's productive, look at who they hang around, look at what they believe, what they talk about. There are people who just, you can tell they're just like puppet masters. They just use everyone. I can think of someone from my childhood who was very good at seeming like everything was fine, but the truth is she had a very nasty side to her, and she sometimes let it out. She sometimes showed me her true colors, that this darkness that she had, this hatred that she had toward me underneath it all, and it would leak occasionally, but she could be really smiley and friendly otherwise, and had this presentable family and everything. Everything seemed very nice on a surface level, but she could be a nasty bitch when she wanted to be. And that is what makes it scary, is people like that. You treasure the good moments with them because it gives you hope that things can be okay. But the truth is, you shouldn't feel relieved when someone is in a good mood. You shouldn't feel relieved when someone is nice to you. You shouldn't feel relieved when the bare minimum is happening. You shouldn't feel relieved when something normal is going on. That should be normal, not occasional, not a fantastic breath, sigh of relief alternative to what you're used to, which is being afraid when you're around them because you never know what they might say or do to you. That's how I felt when I was around this woman. I never knew what she was going to say to me. I knew underneath it all that no matter what she did or said, there was this hatred toward me underneath it all, and I could never be 100% sure if there was something she was saying that was coming from that place. That's what scared me so much. To know that someone hates you, it invalidates any interaction you have with them, because you never really know if you can trust that what they're saying is authentic or if it's coming from that place. And that's why hatred is such a scary thing. You gotta be very careful not to hate people, and be even more careful not to lie to yourself. Don't tell yourself that you don't hate someone if the truth is you really wish they didn't exist. I know her life would have been better without me. I know her life would have been better if I had never been born. And that is why I needed to get away from her. And I did. I haven't seen her in 10 years. And, I don't know. I never did anything to her. I literally was just born. I was like 2-3 years old when I met her. So, scariest person I've ever met too. Like, just couldn't. Who am I talking about? I mean, I might as well say I'm talking about my dad's wife.
That's what I thought.
Zach in the back. That's who I thought. Who else could I have been talking about? He's giving me the bird.
Here's two.
Judge Judy says, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining." Period. That kind of sums it up. My grandma says hurtful things gets me upset. Then when I get upset about the way she says things, she says I'm being rude. Then gaslights me saying I misconstrued what she said. 100%. It's awful. That kind of shit needs to stop. Your stepmom. I don't think of her as my stepmom because I was never stuck with her. A stepmom, I feel like, is someone that you kind of have to see as a replacement for your mom. Like, your dad, I don't know, your mom dies or leaves, and then you get a replacement. That's kind of what a stepmom is. But I had my mom. I had a relationship with my mom separately. I didn't need a stepmom. So she's just my dad's wife. Technically, I guess she was my stepmom. I just don't think of her that way. Abusive, hateful, hurtful relationships. I also thought that too, LOL. Zach, be nice on camera. Zach will always just be himself on camera. Zach is a sassy pants, Dave says. By the way, I finally know what Dave looks like. Do you want to see Dave?
After the stream.
Well, I'm not letting you do that. I want your reaction to be recorded.
No.
Okay, that's Dave.
Fine, I'll come. Okay, so you wanted me to see him?
Yeah.
He's a good looking dude.
Zach says you're a good looking dude, Dave.
I don't know how old he is, but...
He's 25.
Okay. So now I was gonna say if he's like 17 or something.
I guess if you couldn't tell, then what difference would it make?
He looks younger than me.
Younger than I am.
Whatever.
Well, I'm just
Grammar
saying.
shark.
You know, the pronoun in that context should be younger than I am, because you're talking about something that you're being. He's younger than you are, rather than younger than you. As a
Okay,
person.
now I'm just gonna say it straight up. Every time I'm around this motherfucker, all I hear in my head is Jaws music.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I feel him sneaking up on me, raising his finger, going,
Actually.
"It's supposed to be this way." He actually complimented me on using correct grammar earlier.
He didn't even do it on purpose.
And I'm... Oh, God. Why are you trying to tickle me?
I'm trying to make you giggle.
I'm not going to do it for you.
Come on, do your little or whatever noises you
I'm
make.
not going to make noises on a live stream. Your hands are fucking freezing.
Oh, well, maybe I can get you to react to that.
We're not like brothers, and I did not see what
All right.
Roy said.
Let me see. My mom's husband, I won't ever call my stepdad. My brother's dad, however, he's my stepdad, even though they got divorced. Interesting. Zach, so sweet.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Zach, I love you and Tristan, even when Tristan is being a grammar shark. Dave said like brothers.
I don't know if we're like brothers.
He's just trying to invalidate our relationship because he wants me.
Well, too fucking bad, Dave. I've been with him 2 years.
Yeah, we actually just had our 2-year anniversary on Tuesday.
You're getting a kiss from me whether you like it or not.
I'm not that much taller than him in real life.
A whole 2 inches. You're 5'6", I'm 5'4".
It just looks like I'm taller than you here. I'll tickle your feet.
No. Stop that. Stop that. I don't like
Can't
it.
get a reaction out of him.
I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of getting a reaction out of me on camera. Especially on a live stream. What are you, nuts?
Well, you're cute.
I'm not going to do it. Don't you dare. I feel your hand creeping towards...
I'm like 2 or 2.5 inches taller than Tristan. Yeah, in the order of height, it's me, Zach, me, then Royce.
And then your mom before all of us.
My mom is shorter than everyone. My cousin, Emma, we were in the store once and she was calling me short. And I said, well, I'm taller than my mom. And she just looks at me with this deadpan expression and goes, everyone is taller than your mom. I was like, that's fair. Can't even argue that. And now I get to say I'm taller than my boyfriend, even though most people are also taller than Zach.
Shut up.
He says he's fun-sized. He really is such a goofy little squish. Remember, you are an awesome couple, Cheryl says. Can Zach touch your hair? Dave, he's saying that because I mentioned how I don't like people touching my hair, which I'm sure Zach is well aware of. He always apologizes if he ever messes up my hair. And I was talking about how you have such nice hair that just falls right into place. You know, you can mess it up and it doesn't really create a whole issue for you like it would for me.
I almost made a noise.
Show them your bunny ears. They want to see you with bunny ears. And then I'm going to end the live
I don't even
stream.
know where my bunny ears
They're in the bag.
Oh. Why do I have to be happy? I don't want to be
Cheryl wanted to see you do some kind of bunny dance or something.
I'm not doing a bunny dance. I'll put on the ears, but I'm not. I'm too tired to do a bunny
Well,
dance.
just do something. Do anything.
There, I'll hop like a little bunny.
Oh, look at your cute little face. Let me pinch your cheeks.
No!
Oh, I know. My hands are cold. I'm sorry.
Your hands
Let
are...
me do it through my sleeves. A
Why?
little squish.
Oh. Help. I'm gonna be in the psych
I had
ward.
to be greeted by this today when he came over.
Well, I had to give you an Easter basket.
I didn't get you anything though. I feel bad. Nobody in my family did anything to celebrate today except you. So I appreciate that. You made it feel a little bit more
Well,
like
I wanted
Easter.
to do something cute for you. I told you I was gonna come over in bunny ears and I was gonna give you a...
Yeah, but I didn't know what you were talking about. You made it sound like it was going to be something inappropriate, and it was just like 2 little eggs that had some funny Easter puns written, like, "Can you put your carrot between my eggs?"
You're reading these out live?
It was so funny. I read that one to my mom and Granny, and I think Tracy might have been there.
Oh, God.
And that was the one that said, "Don't read out loud."
Why would you...
Because it was funny. Put your carrot between my eggs. I mean, come on. That's a good pun, and it's so. I mean, coming from you, it's just you.
Put your fucking carrot between my eggs.
Is that what you said? Put your fucking carrot.
Yeah.
That makes it even funnier. I'm usually the shorter one when I have a boyfriend. Yay, yeah, bunny ears, thanks. Cheryl says cute.
Thank you.
All right, well, it is 10:21, which means Curb Your Enthusiasm has been out for 20 minutes. I gotta go. I gotta watch it. Zach, do you want to watch it with me in here, or should I go watch it downstairs?
You can watch it in here, but I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, I'm gonna go downstairs then to see if my family wants to watch it with me. Have a good night, everybody. Hopefully the advice that I gave regarding abusive relationships was helpful, because I know how easy it is to fall into those traps and dynamics with people. There was a video I was just watching. I can't remember what it was called. It was one of Ivy's mini classes. It might have been Speak Up, Your Fear of Speaking Out. But let me see. I'm going to run real quick through her playlist and see if the title jumps out at me. Flip the camera around so you can see what I'm looking at. It could have been this one. This is a really good one. I recommended this in my Tuesday video. It was this, How to Confront and Forgive. This is a great class. I recommend watching this one. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you next week.